So it's a rainy day, and here in the UK, and autumn's here now, but getting excited about going abroad. Um, so I've been watching these yen pairs all morning for longs. I took a nice long on pound yen, and 20 pips it was, actually more than 20 pips. But I'm watching this pullback now, and we might as well. I thought I might as well just make a live sort of continuation pullback video. I'm not gonna actually take trades. It's too much of an imposition, actually, and it's unnecessary. So I shall just describe what I'm waiting for. I've done this on Twitter for years. I've done plenty of live videos in the past, but can't seem to find them. So, it's clearly in a uptrend. Let's have a look at the higher time frames. So we're part of this 2B here, which is effectively a 1, 2, 3 higher low here. And that's H4, of course. H4 looks exciting. That building's still going on outside, if you can hear the noise. On all the yen pairs, I mean, not just the RSI histo. UJ is exceptionally interesting, but I'm not really a great fan of that. It moves a little bit slowly for what I want. Same pattern as all the other yen pairs. We've got EJ doing the same thing. And if we look on H1, you can clearly see 2B here. You know, this is the low, that's the poke. And then we've come up and broken through the open close levels there on EJ. As you can see, this is going up nicely. Let's have a look at UJ. Yeah, corresponding. And GJ, we've missed the move actually on M1 now. So M5. As you can see, this is exactly the trade I was waiting for. That was my line. So we closed above the open. We could actually, if I was trading this, I would be happy to hit it now anytime, because we've got green on all of them. We're breaking the high there, and this is something I can't really say on Twitter. When I'm looking at 3 pairs, yen pairs now, I've got a choice of the RSI histo. So it gives me 3 options to check, and if one of them is good, we've also got the superb MACD. I'll never forget someone slagging me off for that forever now, for putting that back. But it just shows how clueless people are, really. They just cannot see through these scammers online. So MACD on every pair by the looks of it, closed green. So I always say take the absolute AAA triple plus trades, and this would not count as a AAA triple plus on my old days rules, as it were, because the RSI histo hasn't closed above 36.37. Let's double check that. But that's really because this was so strong in the momentum. Really and truthfully, that was a good break because it's 34. We're looking for, remember, 17 or 20 on M1. I use 17 because it's more reactive, of course. M1 is a very reactive, fast time frame, so I don't necessarily want to be waiting for 20. That's the logic behind that. Excuse me. I'm sorry about this cold. I've had it for a month now. It's just so annoying. So if I see all 3 like that, the TMA, the RSI, and the MACD, I mean, it is a slam dunk. But obviously, that's the actual closing bar, this one. So I need to be looking at the next bar to take the trade, the break of the high. And when you've been waiting so long for this sort of this momentum move, the point I'm trying to make is, waiting for the continuation, it's highly likely after all this sideways and this big push that the pullback will be quite fast. You have to look at your multi-time frames all the time, and the candle closes, time of the bars, 45 minutes, so 15-minute close, and you can see a massively strong 15-minute close. And while we're here, I was talking about these big bars based on a 2 or 3 year old video where I studied the strat, and this big bar and the arrow is sort of like what he talks about as a this is only a 2 according to the strats rules, a 1 and a 3. A 1 is an inside bar, so that's an inside, that's a 1. 2 2 2, that is an inside bar. 3s are engulfing bars or outside bars. There's one, that's a 3. So but remember, they will not, to my knowledge, the strat and all that lot haven't progressed in terms of the wicks where I have progressed. So what I now am working on is the strength of a wickless. You could delete the wicks, easy enough. I won't do it here, but you know, that's an engulfing an outside bar, or no, it's an outside bar. An engulfing bar is when the body engulfs the body, and that's, see, this one's a 3, and it is doing what I said. It's well, actually, that's very difficult. You'd have to be you'd have to have gapped up to actually engulf or be outside the bodies, so quite a rare occurrence actually. But anyway, I've gone off topic. A big bar like this, regardless of whether it's an outside bar, engulfing bar, or whatever, with an arrow, we talked about the arrows on Twitter a long time ago, how they are in themselves a very, very powerful trigger. Here's one. When you break the candle out of the candle with that downward arrow, in other words, a bearish arrow candle, the price will tend to blast up, much the same as that strat, you know, Rob's the strat strategy, where he talks about the trombone and the big bar that creates the trombone. If price, a 3 bar that is, when price breaks out of that, it tends to go. The other thing that I mentioned in that video is that way back then, Rob relied on sort of the RRR scenario, which I totally disagree with. And he takes loads of losses and catches a big runner, and that pays for the losses, tight stops or whatever. I can't remember what his stop loss policy was. But because I'm a precision multi-time frame trader, we don't need to take the losses. I hope that makes sense. That is why I abandoned any consideration that RRR was good, because as I mentioned in the previous live video, when you have fast multi-time frame or strong multi-time frame momentum, and as I was about to say, but I can't remember whether I finished the conversation because I get distracted, because we've exhausted, because that's what the 3CR pattern is, an exhaustion pattern, because when we get a 3CR we have exhausted the sellers, then the reversals will be strong. So a 2B is an exhaustion pattern, 1 2 3, especially actually a 1 2 3 reversal, failure to make a lower low is an exhaustion pattern. So it stands to reason when they actually do fire off, the stops can be extremely tight, providing you get every time frame correct right down to M1 or even tick charts. Then they will move fast and the stops need to be small, which totally blows Rob and the strats argument way back then out of the water, which was why it was interesting to learn, but it was way behind where I was in my price action knowledge, as it were, or experience. This is absolutely flying, as I said it would. Am I worried about missing the breakout or missing the trade? No, I'm not. But there is a point where making videos, if it costs me money in trades, then it becomes a bit pointless. But I'll make the odd one or two so that I can refer people back to them and that ask, like yesterday. So everything is perfect on this. Looking on GJ, let's see where that's gone now. Yeah, beautiful, big move. Let's go down to M1 where I started and see how far that actual move is. So I was here. I wanted to break through there, so break that high because that was the trigger effectively, and we have moved break of that high. We've moved 20 plus pips, about the same as I took out of this move here. So when we broke out through these ones, and to be super safe, you just want to make sure all three are green and you got a blue arrow. Sometimes the blue arrows don't print. Dinesh, who created this indicator, did explain why, I think, but I've lost it somewhere. So, and Dinesh has gone quiet. I think he's got other fish to fry, as it were. So I can't help myself drawing these, you know, because the more you draw these things, the more it reminds you to look left, in my opinion, and study them in detail, you know. Descending trend lines in an uptrend and the opposite in a downtrend. But, you know, that's another before and after example. I'm never going to trade real money on these because real money just leads to stupid mistakes, unnecessary mistakes. And to be fair, if you're serious about this game, you should realise that it makes no difference as long as you can see these working as they should do, doing exactly what they should do, stop placement exactly where it should be. And really, I always direct people, when they say about stops, direct them to Vic Sperandio's original ideas. That's you beginners extreme stops. Watch a few thousand of these, and then you can start to design your own ideas for stops. You know, I've got my ideas for stops. I don't want to get taken out of a trade unnecessarily when I know it's going to go. Worse, the stupidest thing, in my opinion, is trying to be right all the time with these super tight stops, or trying to justify your stops to basically strangers on the internet. No disrespect meant. You know, develop your own way. I've developed my own way. I've given you, you know, what works with the 2B reversal, and I can't stress enough. The only way you will ever develop the confidence to trade your own money and make a living at trading is to develop your own rules. You know, the 2B pattern is there for us all. The Wyckoff spring, or whatever you want to call it, is there for us all. All the ICT and SMC copycat stuff, stolen stuff, if you want, for a better word, and all the baby ICTers, they all those patterns work, but they're just 2Bs. So the FVG or whatever that is just rubbish. It may well work, but everything works. So develop your own methods. Something that occurred to me. Cults are criminal. Setting up cults so that you can make money out of noobs is a criminal pursuit, in my opinion. And the people that join these cults damage themselves. And I tell you why. Because they will pretend they can trade, and they will tell all the other cult members, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm setting up my own this, that, and the other. Excuse me. Peer pressure will mean they probably continue being an ICT, SMC, the Strat even cult follower, and to the detriment of their own actual trading. They will refuse to accept trendline work because they're scammer leader ICT himself has told them they don't work. I mean, that should be the biggest red flag ever known to new traders. Someone telling them that stuff that has worked for 100 years and the rest, back even to the tulip boom in the mid-1800s rather, 1760s or whatever it was, 1780s, excuse me. That should be the biggest red flag to anyone. Someone telling their little cult, well, big cult, it's damaging to 500,000 followers, that something that's worked for decades, centuries, is wrong. What a crock of crap. Sorry for preaching now. I've gone off tangent as always. But the early part of this video was the important part. You know, everything's here. Indicators do work. Thanks to Dean and Onesie and Aaron, Intrepid Noodle, and lots of other people that have contributed to indicators for me. Some I didn't even get round to using, and I feel so bad about that. I had I asked someone to produce a session range indicator because it was really important to me at the time, and it should be important to me even now. And I think it was Suk. I'm not sure whether I pronounced the name right, but you know, unending gratitude to all the people that have tried to help me along the way, guys. So that's nice. We've ended on a positive note. Can never thank you guys enough for the effort you've made, and I hope in some way the efforts I've made in trying to improve everyone's trading and view of the charts has repaid that and all the other guys over the decades before that I promised I would pay their hard work forward. So that's it. Anyway, thanks for watching another video. Sorry it's long-winded. Sorry I've had a bit of a rant again. But, you know, keep an open mind with trading. Everything works. Everything can be improved upon, in my opinion. You know, no doubt someone can improve upon what I do here. You know, it's not about being right. It's just about making money at the end of the day and helping your fellow traders. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful, it's Wednesday actually, I had to check. Have a wonderful Wednesday.